Hey folks, it's me, Ben Hamlin, your Dungeon Master, Game Master, whatever, what have you, Crypt Keeper. Ooh, I like that one. Before we get started on this one, I want to take a moment to thank everybody for their enthusiasm with which people have approached this show since we've concluded Chapter 3 and are rolling into Chapter 4. Seeing the audience for this show grow has been a tremendous boost to Ezra, Matty, Nick, and I. We really do appreciate it. Know that as thanks, basically we're going back and we're remastering and transcribing earlier chapters, so the show will sound a little more polished and be a little more accessible for people in the future. We really appreciate this show. We like making this show, and we are excited to continue to take it in this direction. We want to help onboard as more people into this show as we possibly can. On that note, I noticed that as we've been making this show, we've never really done a proper plugs segment because we're such a narrative focused show. And I just wanted to let people know that, hi, you can find me at Ben C. Hamlin on Twitter. You can find Matty at Boy Vandals, Ezra at SS_Ophelia, and Nick at By_Rogues. You can check out all of us at infinitybreak.net, where you can check out Sneeple the Movies, the film podcast that Ezra and Matty do with their friend Helena, and Legends of Laia, the show that Matty and I do with our Dungeon Master, Nick, from this show. I just wanted to give a shout out to the other shows that we are directly affiliated with, and give you a chance to maybe jump on to those if that's something that you so wish. Anyway, once again, thank you so much for listening, and thanks for helping us spread the word. We really do appreciate it. I will not delay you any further from the Church of the Open Mind.
Something I can see coming out of that black hole, two luminous discs. The eyes, it might be a face, might be almost but heavens, something wriggling out of the shadow like a gray snake. Now it's another one, and another one, and another one. They look like tentacles to me. Oh yeah, I can see the thing's body now. It's large as a bear. It glistens like wet leather, but that face, ladies and gentlemen, it's indescribable. I can hardly force myself to keep looking at it. It's so awful. The eyes are black, and they gleam like a serpent. The mouth is a kind of V-shape with saliva dripping from its rimless lips and seem to quiver and pulsate.
When we last left our players, the two of you, Saint and Alistair, had just walked in to what appears to be kind of a modern-day tent revival situation. Although there does not appear to be any sort of deity being worshipped, it appears to be a church of the self. As I described earlier, there are these tables that have all sorts of self-help books, both at the entrance to the tent and back by the altar, or rather, the stage. There are these banners that are kind of lining the edges of this grand kind of wedding venue tent, even blocking some of the windows. Those kind of vinyl signs that you would see at a Comic-Con perhaps, or in the lobby of a theater that say free your mind, rejuvenate the body, kind of stuff like that. Aspirational lines that are covering stock photos of cliffs or people in groups. There is this weird kind of halo of light shining down from above in this tent. There are a ton of people kind of packing the pews of this hallway, of this hall. And there is a man at the front in the stage with a cane, a green suit, and a microphone, who is kind of urgently welcoming people into this tent. This is the first day
of the rest of your life.
This is the first day of the Symposium of the Strange, and this is Chapter 4, The Church of the Open Mind.
And he just made eye contact with Alistair, right? Basically.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had the beautiful realization that I had accidentally made myself bait.
Yeah. Which I think will work great for our intentions and will be interesting otherwise.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be fun. I panicked. I decided that my cover story was a vulnerable surfer bro.
Um,
Now I have to live with my sins.
yeah, can't retcon now. There are chairs to sit in. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I think we should have ourselves a seat. Where do we want to drop? Where are we dropping, boys? I think I'm trying to think outside of like plot reasons, because like the plot and like the part of my brain that sees everything as a television show says, "Oh, put us right at the front." But I feel like as people who are trying to get information, we probably would sit further back or towards the middle, someplace where like we just kind of blend in more. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Alistair's gonna kind of head for just far back enough that a person on the stage isn't going to be able to, you know how there's sort of like the asking for volunteers zone, and then you're outside the asking for volunteers zone.
Yeah,
he wants to be just on the edge of the sort of charisma splash zone.
Yeah, okay, that works for me. I'll follow.
You pass down the center aisle, and you pass a back row of people sitting in the very back who are wearing all white, these kind of all white, not layered robes, but they kind of look like graduation robes, but in white.
Yeah,
like
they look like
not
cultists.
Lawrence Arabia.
Yeah, more like a choir. Yes, more like a choir and not Lawrence Arabia.
What?
No, you got fucking film nerd. Go back to your film podcast.
I don't know why that was my first thought either.
I
No,
mean,
you're
well,
right though.
it worked. It was more evocative than me just saying they look like cultists.
People who are in the back row, and then you kind of walk further ahead toward where there are more people who look like you, people who are just kind of casually tuning into the event, and you sit yourself. You said you wanted to be in or outside of the volunteers.
I want to be kind of on the edge of the volunteer zone, because Ezra, am fishing to see whether this guy has really noticed Alistair or not.
Ah.
Sure. This place isn't totally packed, but it is kind of full. But you find a place that you can kind of slide in, and you find two metal chairs next to each other that are kind of in the center-ish of the crowd, and you can kind of blend in there.
I want to ask Ezra to do something. Does it look like there's any other agents in here? This is information I, Saint, would have no clue about, but Alistair would be able to look around.
Yeah, that is a good question.
Scope on.
Just with a quick look around, do I clock anybody? Which is something slightly different.
Podcast full of trans people.
Yeah, do I notice anybody from work?
Do I see any coworkers?
That still sounds like it's a euphemism.
Yeah, it does.
Anyway,
Coworker investigation.
coworker investigation. Can I roll notice? Is that something I should do?
Totally.
Okay. Rolling 4d6s. That is. I love, and by love I mean hate, when I get 1 success, 1 failure, and 2 neutrals. It's like, the fuck is the point of that?
Just a big old goose egg.
It's like, why didn't I even roll? Okay, that's a 2, because I have a 2. I feel like this happens to me a lot, actually.
The advantage that Alistair has in this situation is that you just got out of a room with all of your coworkers a mere 10 minutes ago. So that you can very easily clock people that you saw recently, unless the punishing heat of January in New Mexico has already begun to rot the outer cortex of your brain. I'm kidding. We don't play Cortex anymore. Some silent chuckles from the audience. So yeah, you kind of scan the room left and right, and you see that there is someone who is not... who seems especially engaged, although they are not sitting in the rows of seats. It's someone who's kind of leaning up against one of those poles that is like attached to a cement block. And she's leaning back against that, and you recognize your coworker who is about at the same level that Oliver is.
Okay.
Who is Agent Rose. I think you have encountered her before, perhaps, but you have not had a working relationship with her like you do Gray and like you did with Coy in the past.
Yeah.
Even before you recognized him from, or pulled him out of the Shadow Realm. Sorry, Night Vale, whatever we're calling it.
Exodia. Yeah, no, Yu-Gi-Oh. Twilight Zone.
Anyway, yeah, so she's leaning against that pole. You know, she's dressed pretty comfortably for the weather. Like all the other, agents here, no one's wearing an earpiece. No one has any sort of walkie-talkie anything. Everyone has relatively full autonomy, so there's nothing that would obviously identify her as an agent unless you personally knew who she was, and you do personally know who she is.
Okay.
But yeah, you can see that there's one other of you here at the very least, although she is maybe further up toward the front of this room than you are, so you've seen her, but she hasn't seen you.
Okay. All right, I don't need to say anything about it, but I just wanted to kind of keep an eye out.
Unless you want to start throwing pebbles at her to get her attention.
I'm just gonna, Alistair just completely breaks character and goes full 80s teen movie.
Holds up a boombox.
Maddie and I did the same gesture.
Yeah, listeners, I need you to know that both Maddie and Ben just did the same holding up a boombox thing, almost in sync.
If you want to know more about Agent Rose, give me a minute.
I mean, I think maybe I've done some kind of research, gopher work for her in the past, where it's been I need you to put together, I need you to kind of comb through our archive, a little bit of the archives and some, or give me some talking points on I've written a couple of memos for her.
Sure. Back before you were a field agent,
yeah.
When you were just a research assistant.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. And also sort of, I'm just under the guise of just being generally enthusiastic and kind of happy to be here. I'm just kind of, scanning the crowd, trying to get an idea of what the vibe is in this tent. Does it seem to be, are there a lot of people who know what they're expecting? Is it a lot of people who are excited about this thing in particular? Or is a lot of people being oh yeah, it's my annual trip to Roswell. I'll try anything once. I'm sure there's some of both, but
there's a little bit of that. It feels a little bit like a zoo or a craft fair,
okay.
Where people are just kind of wandering around.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of people who are here for this specific gig.
Yeah, exactly. When you're at the zoo, you'll at least swing by every exhibit, even if you're not super interested in seeing the bears or whatever.
Yeah, sure. I'll go see the apes or whatever. I'm mostly here for the polar bears, but they're on the way. I've been to a convention. I know how this works.
Yeah.
Exactly. But you do notice, and I'm going to keep this rolling off of your initial notice roll. You do notice that both the back row and the front row of this ensemble, this audience, are those people in the white kind of full cover robes.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So that there are people in the front and back who look like they belong here.
Okay.
Everyone else does seem, again, there are some people who are just kind of listlessly here.
Yeah.
They're just exploring, especially because it's the first day. People are just kind of wandering in and out. But there are some people who maybe have been here a little bit already who do seem to be generally enthralled. But it seems that the speaker has kind of invited a new wave of people, so perhaps the amount of people in this room has just increased recently.
Okay.
Which is why he was doing his welcome kind of talk.
Sure.
And more people have shuffled in.
Does this seem like this is building up to something? Like he's about to start doing, for lack of a better word, a sermon? Or does it seem like he's kind of continuously pumping out information as people come and go?
It's the latter. He definitely seems like he has been rambling for a while, although it's this is the second or third wave. It seems like this is the kind of guy who's prepared to talk all day. That he is one of those guys who's always giving the presentation.
Okay.
There is no 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock showing. It's just a constant spiel.
Okay. What's the spiel?
Let's tune in.
He, as he welcomes more and more people in, there is somebody who is at a kind of electronic keyboard behind him who is constantly underscoring the tone of the room with kind of, ambient but upbeat music. And yeah, he's welcoming everyone in. He addresses people in this interestingly condescending manner, the way he's talking. It feels very, at times, both paternal and sort of impossibly above it all. He talks in a way that indicates that he's having to dumb down what he's talking about for people who have not yet reached his, or perhaps even his associates' level of understanding of his own subject matter. But there's something still very engaging about him when he does his, come on in, everyone. Thank you for being here. I see so many tired souls who are looking for a better way to better themselves. I am so glad you can all be here. My name is Dr. Julian Springwood. Each single syllable seems enunciated in a different, louder way, like he's scaling up in the way he talks. And I am here to help you help yourselves. There is a smattering of applause from the room. Matty, you seem particularly delighted by this gentleman's name.
Dr. Julian Springwood. That is a cult-ass name if I've ever heard one. What's he a doctor of? Who knows? Who cares? Cool, but his spiel seems mostly self-improvement, that kind of but ambiguous, right? He's not making any concrete promises.
No, you're right. It is a lot of vague promises. It is a lot of aspirational, ambiguous speech.
Okay.
It's hanging out in the self-help section of a bookstore.
He is the self-help section of a bookstore, as evidenced by, again, you can see these displays. You passed some as you were walking in, and you can see them up there flanking his sides. Basically, on one side is the piano, on the other side is a card table with one of those black cloths, and just a stack of Dr. Julian Springwood Presents. For the listener, Maddie and I both just did an author photo pose.
Oh yeah, I've seen many of them in my day.
But yeah, and especially as you get closer up, you see those banners are a little bit less just open your mind kind of stuff, and start actually having listed out his actual quotes.
Okay.
Once someone has unlocked the self, blah, 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 only then do they Dr. Julian Springwood.
Sure.
And then it's a photo of waves.
Yeah. Is he doing the if you buy my book kind of thing? What's the, because he's doing a pitch, right? So what's kind of the summation of the pitch? What does it lead to?
We all want to be our own better selves, to be free of the constraints that we are born into, the constraints that are thrust upon us by society. We want to have control over our thoughts, control over our money, our financial systems, where we're from. These constraints are forced down on us in such an constricting way, and I'm here to tell you today about a way that you can expand your own ways of thinking, that you can have power over yourself, over your money, power over the way others perceive you, maybe power even over time itself. That kind of stuff.
Okay.
Cool. But is it, one, yeah, I've heard of The Secret. Two, but what is the,
Is this
and maybe the point is he's not fucking saying
I was gonna say,
anything, right?
is it pyramid scheme?
He's just saying, yeah, I'm trying to determine, is this man getting to the, if you do this, you'll be able to do that? Or is he, because he's trying to reel these people in, but it's not but people are listening, right? But if it's just the same kind of thing over and over again, what is the point of having the tent? He must be trying to get us to do something or buy, what is the...
Sure, certainly.
And maybe the answer is he's not doing any of that yet. It's just kind of the patter, but that's what I'm trying to figure out.
No, you're right. He does kind of wander into a second stage of this speech at a certain point, which is that, like, once he's kind of like, kind of opened up the audience to the idea of self-improvement, he's kind of transitioned to, now, I'm not going to lie to you and say that I started out with nothing. I had money, I had privileges afforded to me because of where I came from, because of what my father used to do. And I was able to travel the world as a young man, travel all over the place. I spoke with everyone. I spoke with the evangelicals. I spoke with the Buddhists. I tried to gain the enlightenment that many of you seek in your own lives. And I want to tell you, everyone gets close, but no one's got it right. It is my humble opinion that I have uncovered the true ways of thinking that can really allow you to expand yourself and expand your mind. And I've written it down here, and he holds up his own book. I have written it down here, paths forward, not just to enlightenment, but to an expansion of the self and a freedom from the way that you think now. This will give you phenomenal control over your own abilities. This plus meditation, our patented meditation plan, will allow you to really open up who you are in your own surroundings and expand what you think is possible for yourselves. Perhaps I could even give a demonstration. Could I get a volunteer from the audience?
Oh, here we go.
The music now has gone much more upbeat, up-tempo, and organ-like.
There's no way I'm volunteering for this shit.
I feel like Alistair's not really... I don't think he would volunteer.
Yeah.
For something like this unless it was like... If it was like a, we had some theory that needed testing, maybe,
yeah.
But I
At
don't
this
think
point we don't have enough info.
Yeah, we don't have enough. He's still Mr. Collect More Data.
Sure. He kind of like searches out his hand in the audience. He's kind of like hovering it forward in front of him, almost like he's trying to douse potential people. And like, there are a couple of people with their hands up, and he finds someone in the audience who is maybe dressed a little old-fashionedly, maybe she's a little older in age herself, who stands up, and he kind of brings the microphone over to her. And he's like, "How are you doing, miss? Where are you from?" And she says she's from, I don't know, she says she's from Denver or whatever. And he kind of pops up like, I'm also from Colorado myself. Nice to meet you. They compare neighborhoods for a moment. Are you here today to expand the way that you think? Expand what your body and mind are capable of? And she definitely seems agreeable, but, she skeptical agreeable. Sure, why not? In the same feeling you might have before you pull the card from a magician's deck when he hands it to you. Yeah, sure, I'll play along with this. I sense some hesitancy there. I sense you don't fully believe what I'm talking about. She kind of lets out a small, like, I'm interested in seeing what, he kind of cuts her off before she gets to the end of the sentence. Tell me, do you think you could think of our home, if you could think of Colorado for just one moment, do you think you could think of your home neighborhood? Go ahead and give me your home address. Just think of it. Just think of it. Don't tell it to me. You got it? You got it in your head? Great. He turns around from her, turns toward like the rest of the audience. I have spent so long meditating. I have spent years training my mind and body to listen to the reverberations of the universe and listen to the sounds that we can't hear, that none of you can hear yet, that only some of my dearest associates, he points to the people in white, are able to just get a glimpse of. And I'm going to show you what the human mind is capable of. He points back to her. 128 Maple Street.
Is he fucking doxing this woman?
Childhood address.
Ah.
Unless she lives there still. 128 Maple Street, Denver, da-da-da-da-da. And she, like, puts her hands up to her mouth and lets out a gasp because, yes, you moved out of that house in 1974. She kind of gasps again. The crowd kind of seems to be warming up to this idea. And there's, like, a smattering of applause. He starts guessing, like, random details from her childhood. And she nods along and starts confirming that they're all correct.
So she's a plant, right?
I was going to say,
even if she's not, Saint and Alistair share a look of like,
Yeah. I think
okay.
yeah, I think Alistair looks over and very like just subtly mouths plant.
Yeah.
Saint.
Yeah. Saint has seen this song and dance many times in his day, but usually it's people trying to fucking bust ghosts.
I'm sorry, my brain just got stuck on instead of, firefighter who's committing arson in order to give themselves opportunity to like win glory at someone who's murdering people so that he can exorcise their ghosts.
I think we've made that joke before.
I was gonna say, I'm sure we've made that joke before.
Yeah.
But I'm still just like, what chapter is
Still
that?
cracks me up. Yeah. Great. So we share a little look of like, that's a plant.
Yeah.
But I mean, we'll keep watching. I'm interested to see where this goes.
He does that with another person. He does the have you lost someone dear to you recently kind of angle.
Oh.
And he does like I'm hearing a J. Was this a Jonathan, a Jacob? Kind of sort of psychic reading. He's like, oh, our dear departed Jacob. Tell me, describe this man as describes the facial appearance of someone's brother or whatever. How did he depart us? I'm like, oh, what if I provided you with a way of expanding past not just your mind, not just the minds of others, but through time itself? If you could stretch back and speak to those who have long since left us. And he's now proposing ways of expanding the mind through time. These claims are extraordinary, but if you didn't know what you were getting into, you might think that his claims are very ambitious.
Yeah. Saint has heard this exact song and dance before. And I think he finds it very distasteful.
I think Alistair's like, wow.
To like get them to buy into a bit.
I've heard people do all of these things before, but not very many people were doing like 6 different bits at once.
Mm.
Yeah, it's almost impressive, right? To see that he does the, how often do you see the what's your childhood address and also someone near to you died? What if you could talk? Ooh. Talk about a multitasker.
The way that I am able to do this, it is only through rigorous meditation, a rigorous removal of my own mental boundaries, and a focus on what we can become as people. And I've written it all down here, and he gives the book spiel again. He talks about how he's traveled all over the world again, how he's spoken to scientists, religious leaders, the everyday man on the street, and he's come up with this way of expanding, the brain, etc. Like, please allow me to provide even further examples. The crowd seems largely on his side at this point. He turns finally to Agent Rose. He greets her, does the same kind of song and dance. Where are you from? Louisiana. Louisiana, all that kind of stuff. You spend a lot of time in Washington, D.C., the nation's capital, people, where some of our smartest thinkers can be found. Some of our bravest leaders, but none of them know the truth that I'm giving you today. Some eye rolls, I'm sure, from at least one of you. Or one of your characters.
Oh, yeah.
If not you yourselves.
Well, I mean, I definitely just rolled my real life eyes, so...
Yeah.
Spent a lot of time in Washington? Sure, that's right. You work there, presumably. Yes, she seems like immediately cagey, like, I should not confirm too many details about this. Sensing further. I see there's a number associated with you. Too long to be a birthday. Definitely not a social security number. Wouldn't tell everyone that. Can you tell me what access code 118R748 Delta Delta Rose means? Agent Rose bails from the tent.
Oh, shit.
I would like to nudge Alistair and give him a look like, was that anything?
Alistair has abandoned the sort of laid back but enthusiastic pose that he was in a moment ago, and is suddenly his sort of like almost awkwardly straight up and down thing just like snapped to attention and is very like intently staring at this guy.
He seems almost caught off guard there. Some truths may be a little too much to hear. Sorry, folks, I certainly don't want to invade anyone's privacy, although I think that might have been a two-way street. He kind of laughs it off. Let's not focus on that, shall we? Do you believe what I'm telling you? People in the crowd kind of goes wild. They agree. There's cheering all around. Before he walks back to the stage, he's like, let me tell you more about how you can do this for yourself.
I think I'm gonna kind of let things go back to whatever sort of simmer level they were at before. I mean, I'm imagining people are sort of drifting in and out over time. And I think I'll like listen some more and then kind of just like nudge Saint. And I'm definitely, I think I'm, there's only so much of this guy's patter that I need to hear at one time. But
yeah, we've gotten some more useful information. Here at the very least.
I would like to saunter up to the. I'm assuming there's a merch table, right? Like there's somebody in one of those white robes is selling the books.
Absolutely, yeah. Oh yeah. Toward the entrance and up at the altar.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna go for the one up by the altar to get a closer look at this guy.
Do you want me to come with you, or do you want me to hang back?
I mean,
I will let you.
I think Alistair, back in character, like throws a friendly arm around Saint. Is like, nah, man, come on, let's check this out. Along. This seems like the real deal, man.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no problem, man.
And I
don't know if I buy it, but that's I'll take a look.
Like, wow, like expanding. I mean, imagine like if everybody just could really expand their mind. Yeah, that Alistair back is sort of is I think maybe Saint is starting to pick up that there might be a little bit of an element of trying to make a joke.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Alistair, could you stop making this jerk-off motion the entire time? I mean, the vibes of the universe are like really in tune.
No, like I mean,
just really expanding your mind here.
Not as in sarcasm, as in Alistair is maybe playing the part a little more than he needs to, as a joke to Saint.
Yeah, sure.
But I would like to wander up and be friendly with the what's the person in the white graduation robes like? What's their vibe? Do they seem like, are they like the blissed out kind of a thing? Are they really like amped? Are they really
walks up to a member of the cult of Cthulhu like, hey man, what's your deal?
Yeah,
Hey girl, what's your vibe?
What's the overall like? What does this do to you?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say they have like a very like solemn kind of monk demeanor. Like it's the kind of like maybe in part because they've achieved some form of enlightenment, but also so as they don't interrupt the show itself.
Okay, sure. Okay. So we're talking like serenity, but like solemn serenity.
Both because they've perhaps reached some degree of enlightenment, but also because like they maybe don't want to interrupt the show. They're sort of like a solemn monk demeanor. Okay. Like everything is they're not fully like like tucking their hands into their sleeves or anything that. But there's like a degree of like only communicating through nods kind of thing.
Okay.
Like again, perhaps for spiritual reasons, perhaps literally to not interrupt the speaker. But there's definitely like a you go up there and they're just like, hey, can I get one of these? How much? Like mouthing and nodding.
Okay.
Gesturing like two for $20 or whatever.
Okay.
They have some signs posted.
Yeah, I'm
that
sure
say,
they
like,
have.
We take
we have
stripe or whatever. Yeah.
No, are you kidding? This is absolutely a cash only vibe here. Nobody wants to have their purchases tracked.
And also like there's no way the Wi-Fi out here is steady.
Yeah, no, this is definitely cash and barter economy.
Yeah. Do they take checks?
I think Alistair got a like petty cash allotment for
It's
this.
part of their budget.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think I think everybody got a wad from the petty cash fund, and you bet your ass they're going to have to account for it.
Everyone keep your receipts. Yeah.
You know,
Like,
or
when
maybe
you,
no. You know what it is? This is the joke. The department is really anal retentive about accounting the rest of the year, but like what happens at the weirdo convention
What happens in New
stays
Mexico
at the weirdo
stays in New
convention.
Mexico.
Like nobody is gonna make you account for your like $250 in petty cash or whatever at the end of the weekend.
Sure.
So there's something there's like the running joke that this is like they really want us to cut loose.
Yeah.
when you show up to like a birthday party at a Chuck E. Cheese or whatever, and they just give you like a bag full of tokens.
Yeah. And just go ape. Go
ape.
nuts. Great.
So yeah.
How much are the books?
$20. Let's say 20.
Okay.
Are there
I was wondering if they were like
multiple...
ludicrously overpriced or
are there
like average book.
multiple
actually, let's
volumes?
say 20 for the first one.
Yeah. Okay. Well, are there like how many different books are for sale?
Let's say
is there a series?
Let's say there's 5 volumes.
Okay.
Sure.
I think Alistair's gonna
you can buy the box set for $100.
buy volumes 1 and 2 with a like and at the solemn person at the running the merch table just kind of leans and he goes, I can't read that fast, man.
Sorry for like whatever that was.
That was kind of a squelching noise, Matty. I don't know how I feel about that.
I'm sorry, this character's really just fucking kills me.
Yeah, it's great. And then I'm gonna kind of, since we've gotten up, I'm gonna use this as an excuse to kind of like, like get a closer look at Mr. Oh Jesus, what's his fucking? You just said it like
Springwood.
6 times. Springwood. Oh my God, fucked it up again. Anyway, at a Dr. Springwood, kind of, I'm gonna say obviously gawking because that seems like an acceptable thing to do here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with this character for sure.
Yeah.
This is a man who wants to be gawked at.
This is a man who wants to be gawked at, and I went for the persona of someone who extremely unsubtle.
Yeah, someone who loves to gawk.
Just with a closer look, like, does he look like? Just some basic questions about this motherfucker. What a tool. We don't know that yet. I'm just making assumptions. Does he look like he is trying to appear younger than he is? Like, are we talking like makeup, hair dye, plastic surgery, Botox, any of that kind of stuff? Now that I can get a closer look at him, does it seem like he is, that's kind of any part of his vibe?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
The makeup and hair dye part for sure.
All right. So, yeah, okay. So he's probably older and trying to appear more, youthful than he is. That makes sense. I think if it's clear that he's not planning on, sort of like sitting everybody down, shutting the thing and doing any kind of like sermon or show type thing that has like a definitive arc to it, I think we can bounce. Make our way out of the tent. I'd like to make my way out of the tent and just see. Obviously, she'll be long gone, but I do kind of want to just have a look in the direction that it seemed like Agent Rose made a break for it.
Sure, you can see her outside. Maybe you can get a glimpse outside the tent.
Okay.
And you can see her standing next to another individual who you recognize, but whose name you can't quite conjure. And she is definitely on her cell phone. She's kind of the posture, phone up to the ear, one hand kind of like wrapped tightly around some hair on the back of her head, head down a little bit. A very stressful kind of phone call.
Sure.
And again, next to another person that you work with. that you recognize, but whose name you don't quite recall.
Okay, well, we were told not to make it obvious that we knew each other, so I'm not going to go over there. But I'll kind of make a mental note of at least what this person looks like, who she's talking to.
Mm.
It seems like she's reporting what just happened. Do you need to check into, or are you going to leave it for now?
No. This is,
I have no clue what the circumstances of your situation here are, and maybe I'm not supposed to know, but so I figured I would just ask.
I think Alistair does actually sigh a little bit. I suppose this isn't exactly sensitive information. No, it's, we're all sort of individually, not undercover exactly, but, you know.
You've been set loose.
More or less.
Sure. You want to get out of here? I'm kind of sick of this.
Yes. Yeah, sure. We're headed for the exit. It's a pretty big tent. We can pretty easily be talking quietly towards the edge of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. You make your way for the front entrance. And at a moment, it's as you're walking there, somebody from the outside reaches up toward the entrance of the tent, kind of toward the two parts that are like folded out that would make the door or whatever, and kind of undoes the ties. This is a very larger man, even though it's not super hot, but he has kind of some torn off sleeves, a leather jacket kind of vest look, and his head shaved on both sides, and these massive tattoos of twin dragons on both of his arms. He's unwrapping the ties and shutting the tent doors. And he reaches up and pulls down this very large zipper.
Well,
I guess we're staying correct, too.
And right after the zipper goes down, you can hear over the loudspeaker, over the stereo system inside this room. You know, it's those large amps that are like up on tripods. Stick around, folks. The real show is about to begin. I promise you, I will show you the true limits of the human mind tonight. And then Alistair, you hear, as if he was standing right next to you, whispering in your ear. You hear his voice crystal clear. Stay a while, Agent. I'll be with you in a moment.
Motherfucker.
And Saint, you can hear this too. Not as crystal clear as Alistair hears it, but as an echo reverberating off of Alistair's mind. Stay a while, Agent. I'll be with you in a moment. What you've just been listening to was ParaScience, a glimpse into a world unknown. It was an actual play horror adventure told to you through the Fate system. Our players are Ezra Kaye as Agent Alister McAndrews, and Matty Trumbo-Gomes as capable young man St. Garcia Flores. As for myself, I was your game master and disembodied voice, Ben Hamlin. I also produced this show. Our theme song is by the incorporeal Johnny Rinaldo, and our logo was created by the haunted visage of Terra Bosart. We are currently in the process of remastering and transcribing earlier episodes of the show, and for that I would like to thank Glory Duda, Marcel Hood, and Julie Cooper, as they write down our every word and weave an intricate web of audio for you. You can stay tuned to our social media channels for more information on these developments. This show is brought to you by Infinity Break, where we're telling stories our own way. You can follow us on social media at InfinityBreak23 and check out our website for all of our other podcasts at InfinityBreak.net. We appreciate you listening to this program. If you want to help spread the word, there are a good many ways to do that. Word of mouth helps us immensely, and you can add us at ParaSciencePod on Twitter. And while you're at it, why not tag InfinityBreak23? We have a Patreon at patreon.com/InfinityBreak, where you can start donating to Infinity Break for as little as $1 a month. And if you listen to Apple Podcasts, don't forget to leave a review. That's all for now. Let ParaScience expand your way of thinking and offer you 10 easy steps to becoming a telepath at home. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time.